For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour two. Tim, you were gone last night. Jacob did for those of you listening on the pod live, man, it was solid. We probably need to re-record that. It was a beautiful thing for sure.
Here's the guy.
All right, so just a quick little Brandon McManus update here.
It's pronounced McMoney. It's Brandon McMoney.
Go ahead, get the paperwork file, get that name changed. Brandon McManus is 44 of 46 on kicks during team periods through 10 practices. He just hit from 42, 47, and 55 yards to end practice. What gets me excited, yes, the accuracy is great, but when you're still seeing those 55-yarders, you worry about the leg power starting to go as guys get a little bit older. Jacob, he's still got that power, bro. Still got it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I shudder to think that we could still have him, like you said, on the roster for maybe, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 more years. I mean, kicker, obviously, look at guys like Janikowski and some of the older ones that played until they were older than any time that I'd be able to play. It's pretty encouraging.
Yeah. And Tim has got some shots here actually from practice of Brandon McManus hitting these kicks, right? Little draw.
Oh, yeah, fun. I got lucky, man. I took a walk for a little bit and came back right as they were wheeling the goalposts over, and so I got to see him put a few up. This was with the wind. He was kicking with the wind on these three, but he also looked good against the wind today as well.
Nice. I'm gonna see if Mandy will let me invest in one of those setups. I'll get one of those out in the front yard. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, man. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Get out there and do that. Let's see what the next shot you got here, Tim. So you got several kicks here, right?
Yeah. So here's right hash, as you see, right down the middle.
Right.
I think that first one was from the left hash, and then there's a third one. I think he's dead center, but you can really see him kind of just, this was just before the team period, so he was probably just getting loose here, just kind of figuring out the wind and getting it dead center. And you can see he's putting them right down the middle as he gets further into his drills. So I'm just glad we got a kicker, boys. A problem that we don't have to worry about, like Jacob was saying, for the next hopefully 2 to 3 years before we
at least,
yeah.
How old is McManus? Does anybody know in the chat? Right
30. Just turned 30.
Oh, bro, we could have this guy for 10 years.
Hold on, no, don't quote me. He just had a birthday. 34. 34. I think he's 34, which in kicker years is 26. So we're fine. He'll be around for a while, right?
Definitely. All right. It looks too old for this. They're never happy, Tim. They're
right?
Never happy, right?
Come on.
I had Danny Whelan clips last week. We had a couple.
But I mean, we can't show punter clips live on the show. Like, what do we? Oh, or I guess we can. Here we go, sleeper packer. All right, got a Daniel Whelan kick video, guys. Watch the vertical. Look at the vertical spin on that punt. Boom, dead net.
You guys, I wish we could have the sound up. You got to just hear what his foot sounds like hitting that ball.
Just in case there's language, earmuffs, kids.
See if you can hear it.
Here we go. He's going to kick it right here.
Oh yeah, you can hear that.
That's from 50 yards away too.
Sounds like a 12-gauge shotgun right there.
Yeah. Oh, man. And again, though, yeah. What you see what I'm talking about with the vertical spiral? Like what you're doing there is you're deadening that kick. You're dropping it inside the 5. It's going to hit right on the nose and typically kick up or backwards, right? Yep. So you're just, literally pinning them right inside the 10.
Danny Whelan is the example of a complete punter. Like he can punt with skill and he's got the leg, right? You got the hang time, you got the distance. He can punt for accuracy.
Isn't he tall as all get out too?
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Snap.
Big guy, right? Exactly. So like, I don't know, man. We might have. I certainly think we have a top 5 punter in the NFL. Put it that way. Maybe even arguably the best in the league. We'll see how this season goes. But again, I'm really glad that we've got the Irishman back there booting them.
Yeah, Blake B says Nigel Gruff kicking the bloody piss out of it. I wish we had that.
Might have to get that one back.
Amelia will be so proud of that comment too. It's all about some Nigel in here. So all right, so there you go. There's just a little update on the special teams. Tim, you got some great footage earlier today of the defense prep, and I'll let you kind of talk about what you experienced over there, being up close with the defense. This one come in here. Let's see.
Wow.
You say Coach Ogabasi, right? Helping keep this group focused on the fundamental football. What's Coach O like over there? Keep it PG-13, of course. But
Coach is intense, but and he keeps it PG-13 for the most part. A lot of the defensive coaches do their intense. We don't get as much F-bombs as we had last year with some of the guys we had on the staff, but they're just stressing fundamentals. I see that Coach Ogabasi here, as you see Rashawn working on the sled, he wants them to press and release. He wants these guys to stay fundamentally sound and get off of their blocks and to do it right. And this is just repetition. They do this nearly every practice, some variation of it. And Coach Ogabasi seems to kind of be the, he's the war daddy. He's the general out there when it comes to these type of things. We all know about the ball king, and obviously Coach Covington is, the master of the plan. But it's fun watching Coach Ogabasi work with these guys, or VO as they call him. I believe that's Enigbare there, or I'm not sure who that is. It might be Devontae Wyatt.
It's definitely Enigbare. To me, Tim, he looks like he has the best rep. Watch how he throws this sled. Watch Enigbare right here. I mean, that's like, to me, it looked way stronger than even Kenny and Gary. So, listen, I know it's probably here's Wyatt right here. Now, what he's having them do is just press right, and then we're going to come in and press and release, right? Basically, punch and release.
Yep.
So let's watch Wyatt here. Kind of takes it off the screen, but yeah, he had a good one there too. It matters, man. That shed is absolutely huge.
You see, he made Kenny go back. Kenny does this first rep here.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get this first rep in, and okay, there's the press. Now he says, "Now I want the release." Yep. So this is what I'm talking about. Is they're wasting no time with the details, and you can see Halfley there in the background. There's your defense
watching everything.
Yep. So this is here's Rashawn, of course.
He looks good this year, man.
Oh my goodness, he looks like he's in the best shape of his life too.
Yeah,
just an absolute monster.
Definitely. We got another angle here. This came in from Sleeper Packers, and I think they actually posted the actual video. This may be the same exact drill here, Tim. It kind of looks like it, but it's zoomed out a little bit. So, whoa.
Oh yeah.
I almost want to unmute that just to hear it.
I'm pretty sure it's clean, Clayton, and there might not even be music going on in the background either.
Let's
might be able to run it.
We'll go about 3-4. Put it over. So you see what I'm saying with Kenny? It's just kind of a minor release, and then you watch the other guy. Gary's going to swing this after the watch him throw this thing. Nice. Nice. There you go. Just a little look down there on the sideline.
A little bit, for sure. And that's what you get. Well, that's what I was saying about Coach Ogabasi. He's loud, he's intense, but he keeps it pretty clean. So if you got the kiddos out at practice, you don't have to worry this year standing by the fence as much.
And then you caught Coach Covington, DeMarcus Covington, working with looking like they were working on a little six techs. What you were thinking here, is that right?
Yeah, that's what I saw when they started this drill. LVN, Brenton Cox Jr. I think you got Baron Sorrell in there too, Enigbare. Yeah, they were working on six tech, basically just the proper technique to get off. I think we might be able to get audio. You can run audio on this too, probably, if you want to hear him. He's kind of explaining it to him.
Mm-hmm. Brenton Cox Jr. looks like he's put on some weight too, man.
Yeah.
He looks big. Little agility drill more so, right?
Yep.
We got here
in the six tech, yeah. And he was. This is just a cool way to just see how he works with these players. Like, he's so hands-on, so direct. He's right in there with them. Outside looking in, it looks boring. Like, what are they doing? Oh, they're not doing. He's watching every move these guys are making, every single move. And if it's not right, he makes them do it again.
Yeah, LVN too, man. I'm telling you, this edge room looks good. Sorrell looks like a damn man bear. He does not look like a rookie out there.
No, he does not.
So, really.
And Desmond Alexander there too, another guy to keep an eye on at this camp. Might sneak his way onto this football team. You never know.
You know what? Honestly, I'm really not even trying to make a joke. He was talking about, look at the length of Brenton Cox Jr. See how I cleaned that up? Because that could have went south. It really does, though. He looks like he's got a reach of just an freakishly. Like, I'm so excited to see his progression this year. I really am. Between him and Van Ness, and then the emergence of Sorrell, I don't know which one I'm more excited about. And the possible resurgence of Kingsley. You know what I mean? I think we've talked about how Clay saw how that get off was just powerful and explosive. I really do think that last year he was playing timid because his mind did not allow him to trust that knee. Can you imagine the rotation we could have even without a guy like Oliver or maybe even a Mosby if he ends up making the team like that? First rotating 5 is pretty good.
And it looks like Brenton Cox Jr. has 33 1/8 inch arms, which is pretty good, right? We talked
pretty
about
long.
34 is like kind of the holy crap, So you guys correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but yeah, 30, right there on the verge of being 34 inches is really impressive with arm length. So we handled that very, very maturely. I'm proud of us. We're growing as a podcast. Unbelievable. All right, so up next we got a clip. Listen. This might have been my favorite defensive clip of the day. And, of course, it comes in from our buddy Baz over at Basarski Productions. And I think it was Pat Clips that tweeted it out originally. I want to give credit to everybody here. Dobbs versus Valentine. Listen, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to dog Romeo Dobbs here, okay? But as we've said this entire show, these drills cater to the offense, right? It's typically the offense beating the defense like a drum. What you've got here is Carrington Valentine lined up on Romeo Dobbs, all right? And as Baz says, such a great rep, follow the hips, and basically runs through the route with Dobbs. Watch Carrington Valentine on this. This is absolutely amazing. Watch Valentine here, right? Inside, stay with him, bang. You cannot defend that any better.
Wow.
Unbelievable coverage there. And again, Rome is a damn good route runner, right? Carrington, boys, and listen, I know we're expecting Nate Hobbs back week 1. Carrington is just waiting for his opportunity to break into that nickel 4-2-5 starting lineup. I got to be real. If Carrington has a better camp than Keyshawn Nixon and Nate Hobbs is healthy and they decide to go Nate Hobbs on the outside and Javon Buller on the inside, it's one of two things I could see happening here. I could see Carrington putting on such a good camp. Didn't we, Tim? I think you wasn't here last night. I think we had uncovered that Omar Brown leads the Packers in interceptions this camp, and Carrington's right behind him, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, we may end up forcing Nate Hobbs or Keyshawn Nixon in the slot if Bull continues to struggle a little bit and Keyshawn doesn't look as good on the outside. Is there a chance that Keyshawn ends up being the odd man out and going to the bench? You know what I'm saying? Because Carrington, dude, correct me if I'm wrong here. Does Carrington Valentine not look like a better corner than Keyshawn Nixon based off what we've seen last year and what we've seen so far in camp? Am I wrong there?
I don't think that's unfair. I don't know if I'm willing to go that far yet. I will say that I do agree if you're talking about a situation where maybe Bullard's still struggling with the coverages and we have a scenario where we have Hobbs, Keyshawn, and CV out there. I'm all for that. I'd like Hobbs in the slot, Nixon and Valentine on the boundaries. We also got to remember that in a pinch, Keyshawn can play in that slot for us too. Always was his better position, actually, was playing in the slot. I think the fact that he's kind of proven to be able to hold his own on the boundary is why he's in the conversation. But I'll agree, Clayton. Carrington Valentine's making a really good case for himself to move up that depth chart. And I would assume that he's going to get a little bit more reps in the preseason games than maybe Keyshawn. Obviously, he's going to get more than Nate Hobbs because Nate Hobbs isn't going to have any. So we're going to get to see a lot of number 24. And I don't think anyone's worked harder in this offseason to prove themselves and to be in a position to play good football in 2025 other than, Carrington Valentine, man. You can tell the guy wants it. There's a role on this team for him with the departure of Jair. And I think he desperately wants to step into that role. Bottom line, we're good with the personnel that we have in this DB room. But I don't think it's unfair to say that, Clayton, that, maybe CV has the edge over K9 right now. But you guys know I'm a big Keyshawn fan too. So it's hard to say anything negative about either of these guys. The way I feel, I want them both on the field all the time, if I could have it that way.
Ed Madden says CV closed out last year with 4 turnovers in the last 4 games. He's building on that. And that's the other thing I see. I think Ron Samuel said he's not great at run defense. I think he had 2 forced fumbles in a run. I know one was against a smoke screen. I think the other might have been against the run. We'd have to go back and watch it. But the thing that sticks out to me, and Coach Lynn, correct me if I'm wrong here, technique-wise, watch how Carrington doesn't try to be too aggressive at the line. Let him get past, and now you know that out-of-bounds line in the back of the end zone, Jacob, that's an extra defender, right? And it's just lock onto the hips like Baz was saying here. He plays it perfect here. He knows – he just seems like he's situationally aware. In both of his interceptions last year, Jacob, they came in the red zone. You remember that?
Yep. Yes, I do. And, it just like we talked about how fluid that Golden looked. That's kind of what I see with Carrington, the way that he's able to kind of read and react. To quote a wise man like Chubbs, it's all in the hips, baby. And he seems to have it. So, I am very excited. Obviously, I never want to see an injury to Nate Hobbs or anybody else on this team for that matter. But with injury comes guys that have to show up and show out. And I don't like I believe whoever it was it Ron or whoever said the highlight of him with the last 4 games, like that carryover, I believe is real. Carrington's going to carry over the success that he had at the back end when things started to click for him. Him coming into another year, again, with the Hafley, 2.0 defense, I really do think that I could start to see the writing on the wall that Carrington Valentine could be CB1, bro. I really do believe in him that much. I do.
Yeah. And Ron Samuel says, Valentine on the run was a question here. People talk about it. We did an episode. You can go watch it, Ron, where we broke down his stops, his run stops, because we were like immediately, is this going to be an upgrade over Jair? I'm not saying that Valentine is a great run defender. Listen, how many cornerbacks are, right? Yeah. But if you watch Jair the last 3 years against the run and you watch Carrington Valentine, it's not even close. Carrington Valentine is the better run defender than Jair here lately. Now, we know when Jai got to the league, he was a dog before that shoulder injury, right? So just something to kind of keep in mind. You can go find that video, though, on our YouTube channel. If you just go to our YouTube channel and search Carrington Valentine, it should pop up, and watch those run stops. It was really impressive. And again, some of those against smoke and bubbles, right? Smoke screens and bubble screens. But, yeah, I thought he played pretty well. So there you go. There's your defensive highlights from training camp. Let's dive into a quick training camp practice recap. Before we do, want to get your all's take. We'll start with let's start with you, Jacob. In terms of what we just watched, what stands out to you the most, man? It can be offense, defense, special teams, anything. What's the first thing that comes to mind from what we learned from the highlight reel from camp today?
To me, it's got to be Matthew Golden. Just the way that it seemed like I'll always preface that I was not the biggest fan. One, because I just didn't think he was going to fall to us. So I didn't do a lot of due diligence to him. I thought it was a long gone. Packers don't pick wide receivers in the first round, even when they base that they are. It's just a thing. From him, from that point to now being in camp, and there's seemingly being, and knock on wood, being no difficulty with whatsoever him getting the speed of the NFL, understanding the concepts, having whatever the kind of, we always looked at the highlight reel. I'm guilty of that for Bull. I saw Bull's highlight reel and I thought, oh my Lord, this boy is, there's no way that he can't play in the NFL. I didn't, necessarily see that all the time with Golden's highlights. You saw blips of it, but what he's done so far to this point, it just seems seamless. It seems effortless. He's seamless. It seems like the moment's not too big for him. He doesn't seem nervous or scared. He also doesn't seem overconfident or cocky at all. He literally right now has been perfect. And I don't want to, sound like too much of a homer, but we haven't worried about drops. I haven't heard one drop from him. I haven't heard anything about him being cocky. Like I said, overconfident. He's talked about how there's great camaraderie in the wide receiver room, how he always feels like he can lean on these guys, how he feels like he can already lean on just Jordan Love. That to me is really impressive for him to be just right out the gate. That just kind of flawless to me has been kind of a shock. And you see it now on film as well. Like just even when it's in slow-mo, the dude is just moving at a different gear. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's certainly one of the things that stood out, I think, to a lot of us, right, is just how polished he looks very quickly, almost to the point where we have to remind ourselves to kind of temper our expectations a little bit. And, players like this, you have to remind yourself that they are rookies. And, he is going to have a drop, guys. He is going to have an off day or a bad play. Yep. So we can't, act like it's the end of the world when it happens, or we can't, backtrack and act like we were all wrong about our excitement. We got to let Matthew Golden develop. But I think you make great points that he certainly seems like a guy who's ready for the moment. And I don't think his ego is not a problem, which is usually a rarity when it comes to rookies. Usually
and wide receivers.
Yeah, especially wide receiver rookies. Exactly. So I think Matthew Golden's the exception to that rule. To me, my big takeaway today, though, was Quay getting back with teams. Nice. That's my biggest thing I was excited about today for sure.
Good stuff, man. All right, let's go through the recap. Listen, some of this stuff we may have already talked about in showing the highlights, but the goal here is just going to be a separate video of someone, hey, I just want to get a quick recap of what happened at practice today. Tim, you add anything in that we may miss here? Same thing there, Jacob. So key news, injuries and returns. One starting defensive player, Quay Walker, participated in team drills for the first time in camp. Another starter, Nate Hobbs, might miss the rest of camp due to a knee injury requiring surgery. We talked about that. He should be back week 1. At least that's the planned timeline. Quay Walker returned to the middle of the defense after being limited to individual drills for the past week. First time since a playoff loss to the Eagles. They said he was playing Mike in the limited time. He had an 11-on-11s as well. Walker, I think it's Rasheed Walker, confident he'll be ready week 1 against the Detroit Lions. Suffered an ankle injury last season. That's Quay Walker. I'm sorry, Quay Walker. Confident he'll be ready for week 1 against the Detroit Lions. Suffered an ankle injury last season that sidelined him for the final 3 regular season games. Returned for the playoffs, but not 100%. Underwent surgery during OTAs after realizing it was more than just a high ankle sprain. So we're getting the rest of the story there. Nate Hobbs suffered a knee injury. It's a meniscus last week from a collision. Opted for surgery on Saturday to avoid lingering issue. Optimistic for week 1 return with 1 to 2 weeks of practice before the opener. So it's just a quick little run.
BTA.
Anything I missed there, guys? Anything you want to add on the injury front? Tim, does that sound like a pretty accurate depiction of what we've seen there with Walker's? Anything that might be over embellished there? Because again, I combed through, hey, give me all the updates you got, put it into a system and threw it in an article real quick.
I think with Quay, yeah, for sure. That seems pretty accurate. I would argue Quay's probably wanted to be back for well over a week, maybe the last 2 weeks. And they're just taking their time. So I don't think it's unrealistic to expect Quay to be a full go week 1 against the Lions.
Got it. All right. Jacob, anything else you want to add to the injuries there? We good?
No, just real quick. Chris, the casual end, kind of probably had the type of reaction I did when I heard just in passing around 3 o'clock today. He says, oh, no, Hobbs had surgery. Oh, I totally missed that. Puke. Yeah. It's not serious. It sounds like that, again, it was more of in his interview, they actually asked, I said, did they give you an option? They said, yeah, they did ask, whether I wanted to do this now, try to play through it. If I wanted to do it now, do I want to do it like today, tomorrow type thing? He said, let's do it today. They couldn't quite get him in on that Friday, so they did it on the Saturday. They also followed up and asked, what do you plan on starting to rehab? That was today, Tuesday, August 5th. He said, man, I started rehabbing on Sunday. So the day after. I said, I've been rehabbing. That's what I want to do. I'm going to keep my head down. So I would not be flipping out here, Chris, the casual end. I think that he will be back sooner than – what's a good Claytonism for that? Sooner than – I don't know. It'll be soon.
I don't have anything, I'll be honest with you, man.
I feel like we've been lacking on some new Claytonisms as of late. We got to figure out.
We try to be professional around here, Jake. I don't think it's any coincidence that I ended the Claytonisms, or what they're known as back home as the Mad Dog-isms. That's my dad. He every piece of material I've got came from him. But seems like when I stopped talking about it, the channel started growing, so I just stopped doing it. You know what I mean? We got to stick with what works. So,
I don't know.
I know maybe I can amuse you offline, but
put
Jordan
that
Love
name in my mouth right there.
Clayton completed 13 of 20 passes. Jordan did. Clayton didn't. I promise you that. I would have been 2 of 20. Jordan Loveday completed 13 of 20 passes. The highlight a strong third down sequence, 3rd and 8, or 3rd and 7 on 5 snaps. Completed 4 passes for 3 conversions there on 3rd down. So good numbers there. A stop screen to Romeo Doubs by Rashawn Gary. Strike to Malik Heath against Xavier McKinney for a 1st down despite pressure from Devontae White. So you see Malik Heath. Have we heard anything negative about Malik Heath out of camp yet, Tim? I don't think I've heard anything.
Not from anyone with a brain watching football. No.
All right. So, again, it seems like Malik Heath having pretty good camp. Screen to Josh Jacobs with Tucker Kraft's block for the 1st down. You love to see that. Errant check down to Chris Brooks, so a little inconsistency maybe there. Into the drill with the touchdown bomb to Dobbs over Javon Bullard and Evan Williams. Dobbs celebrated by running alongside the sideline with fans there. So that was.
I just caught the ball. business.
So that was obviously over a 2-safety look there. The fact that they were both trailing makes me think might have been like a cover 6 look or something. You know what I'm saying? The fact that they were both in the vicinity. But nonetheless, that's how that played out. 2-minute drill started at the 45-yard line with a minute left and no timeouts. It stalled. Best throw was a strike to Jaden Reed for 23 yards. Third down conversion to Luke Musgrave to the defense's 32. Drive stalled with throwaways. A risky cross-body pass was incomplete. And incomplete deep to Josh Jacobs on a 4th and 10. Good coverage by Isaiah Simmons.
Here's the guy.
There you go. So, risky a cross-body pass. Me no want to hear that, Jan. You know what I'm saying? Want to get that out of the – of course, when it works, we go, boy, look at this arm talent, don't we? So, it's funny how that works. All right, the player of the day, Jaden Reed, in the red zone one-on-ones. He beat Javon Bullard for 2 touchdowns from Sean Clifford. Double move and then a fade route, the additional catches in the 2-minute drill, and another noted play, continued strong practices alongside Romeo Dobbs. So you're seeing Dobbs and Reed flash today, it seems like, in some of the team drills. Malik Willis had the play of the day. A-Fam going to be losing his mind here in a second, right? Play of the day, Malik Willis in the 2-minute drill. Willis led the number 2 offense to the end zone. Same scenario, ball at the 45, 1 minute, no timeouts left. 3rd and 5, ripped the pass to Will Shepard for 35 yards to the defense's 15. So Will Shepard, a little look there. 3 incompletes, set up a 4th and 10, but he connected with McCole Hardman on a fade for a touchdown to spot coverage by Kalen King. So once again, McCole Hardman.
McCole Hardman making this football team.
I think there's a decent chance we're carrying 7, boys. Could happen, right? Could happen.
His receiving is tough.
Look at it here real quick. We got the updated depth chart before we went live here too. Do we have to carry 7 or is it just 6 with Christian Watson going on the pup? Let's look at this. Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs, Savion Williams, Dontavion Wicks, Malik Heath, McCole Hardman. You got to carry 7, right? Got to carry 7 if you're going to keep them both. I say carry 7, keep 2 tight ends, and you don't really worry about those tight ends getting poached. That's kind of so.
Yep.
And listen, that could change after practice tomorrow. You guys know how this goes. So,
yeah.
All right, 3rd and 5. We talked about that. 3 incompletion. All right, so we got okay. Here we go. 2-point play. Fake the handoff to Israel Abani Kanda and threw to Julian Hicks for the win using a funky. I like how I said funky arm angle. Look at that, man.
Funky arm angle. Band name called it.
There you go. Hardman quote, he just prayed. We don't have the exact quote, but he praised Willis for a good ball after a quick route adjustment. So Hardman just always, is it just me or does it seem like he's just a veteran on this roster, man?
He's doing everything right.
Yeah.
I think he knows what it takes to make a team. And it's almost like the teacher's pet that brings an apple to the teacher. I think he's doing a little bit of that. He's loving up on the fans. He understands that, like, if he gets a little exactly, he's got the little little Coldplay factor there for sure.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft. All right, so just showing that image of him. He looked good today, Tim. No, he's not limited, is he, man? That groin's good to go, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, he looked like he didn't have a groin injury, so maybe that was just minor, something he tweaked, and they wanted to make sure it didn't get worse. But he looked excellent today.
I think that's why they kept him out of family night, just as a total precaution, and just said, we're not going to risk this.
It might have been too, Tim. It might have been. We know how Tucker Kraft is. He gets amped up, right? He wants to give fans what they want. Hey, don't even suit him up, and let's see what we got in these other tight ends. Let's let these guys get some extra work. And it could have been a little bit of that too. So
I agree.
So injury updates, new injuries. Tight end Messiah Swinson had an illness. All right, so don't really call that an injury, to be honest with you. Old injuries, we talked about it earlier. Christian Watson with the knee, Wicks with the calf, Hobbs with the knee, Wilson with the knee, Marshawn Lloyd with the groin, Kamal Haddon with the hip, linebacker Colin Oliver with the hamstring, defensive end Aaron Mosby with the groin, left tackle Rasheed Walker with the groin, offensive lineman John Williams with the back, Travis Glover with the shoulder. Returning from injuries was Savion Williams and Tucker Kraft. That's great news. Tucker Kraft back with the number 1 offense after missing family night, described as minor, just needing rest, wouldn't have missed a game. There you go. That's all I need to hear, right? He would not have missed. So
when you guys look at that list of injuries, like at what – you remember when we had that year when everybody was having the hammies, and there was a year when everybody had the pecs? I see the groin being a thing. To quote Meredith from The Office, groin injuries are the worst. Trust me.
I thought you were going to say to quote Meredith from your office.
From
down
the
there.
Oval Office. No, I just like honestly, is there something going on there where there needs to be some sort of attention paid to like how we're doing a certain warm up, how we're not doing a certain warm up? Like, does that anything kind of?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Thank you, Coach. Yeah, I'm not a growing specialist myself. Tim, do you have any advice?
I am.
I would defer to Jacob for that kind of education, I guess.
Exactly.
But no, you guys know what, like when it's something like that, like if you have a full on pull, then you're usually going to miss significant time. So if they're just holding you out, I mean, you could pull a muscle getting out of bed at our age, right, Clayton? I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's probably just a little tweak. So I don't think it's anything as significant as the hamstring epidemic we had the last couple of years. So
yeah. And just for the record, Clay, when you went and said, "Oh, we're growing up, we're becoming professional," the chat has not. And
No.
it's not. It hasn't even let up for like 25 minutes since we were on that topic. So
And I'm tell you what happens here. Dennis Shook. When Dennis Shook shows up, don't look at the chat. I'm just telling. Shout
who?
friend of the show. I don't let many people know that because of what he does in the chat. But glad you're back, Dennis. It's football season, baby. We made it. Dennis has entered the chat. Packers practice.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
I'm going to go rapid fire here because we're just about out of time. All right. End of game sequence. 3 specialty situations led by Coach Matt LaFleur. Ball at the defense is 45, 15 seconds, no timeouts. Needing a field goal. Love to read to the defense's 27. Clock the ball at 2 seconds. And Brandon McManus made a 42-yarder. Ball at the defense, 40, 10 seconds, needing a field goal. Receivers went deep, clearing space. Willis ran for 11 yards. Convoy blocked Kingsley Enagbare, slid out of bounds with 1 second. McMoney comes in, hits a 47-yarder. Then the ball at the defense is 37. Love extended the play, but missed Matthew Golden, potentially 15 to 20-yard gain. Didn't matter. McMoney said, I'll just hit this one for 55, guys. I got this. So, yeah, love to see it, man. Makes me sleep well at night. One-on-one battles, Romeo Dobbs versus Carrington Valentine. Dobbs caught a pass from Clifford. Valentine denied the corner route from Love. Dobbs got revenge with the double move touchdown, so we didn't see that. Dobby having a pretty good camp, sounds like. Yep. Matthew Golden toasted Keyshawn Nixon on a slant after faking outside. Sorry, Key. I didn't type it up like that. The AI did so, but we did see the video. That was a clean route, man. Such a clean route. 11 on 11 plays. Here we go. Brenton Cox stopped Jalen White in the backfield, helped stop the jet sweep from Savion Williams. Then Savion Williams, terrific body control catch on the sideline against Bo Melton. So a little negative rep there from Bo, looks like. Evan Williams stopped the end around to Savion Williams for short gain. Linebackers are active. Isaiah Simmons, I'm going to highlight it. Isaiah Simmons ruined the quick pass to Shepard. Isaiah McDuffie limited Heath on a check down. Edgerrin Cooper stopped the toss to Jacobs. There you go. The linebackers having a pretty good day, sounds like. Errant shotgun snaps. This is what I want to talk to you guys about. Tim, I don't know if you heard anything about it or not. Elton Jenkins over Love's head. Jacob Monk replaced him. Donovan Jennings, we talked about him. They were giving him a little look at center, getting him some work. He was bad at snapping. Sounds like Elton's struggling here with the snap. Are we concerned about this, man? Because we seen it in the Detroit game last year that you were at, but it was a monsoon, right? I mean,
it was, and Elton hadn't played center in a while, right? We have to remember the last regular reps at center was what, college for Big E?
No, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think is it concerning? Hell yeah, it's concerning. We can't have our starting center snapping the ball over our quarterback's head or at his toes. But I think it's early enough that they correct this. And I think the more he just kind of gets used to that role and settles into, being the center one, I think we'll be fine. I'm not worried about Big E long-term. But it does make sense to, start rotating the supporting cast in there, because if he's struggling now, you can work one-on-one, off to the side and let some of the other guys get the team reps in. And, kind of build a backup plan there at center, because, if for some reason, I don't even want to go there because it never even crossed my mind that maybe Elton isn't able to handle that.
I'm with you. Yeah.
And it's like, I don't even want to go there yet. Let's see how this plays out. I'm sure he'll get this under control.
Yeah. Izzy Abani Konda, big run to the right, blocked by Tyler Cooper and Anthony Belton. I want to see a lot of that right there. How about
Escalade, baby? Let's go.
What if Escalade just comes from the back of the pack, Jacob, and just takes the left tackle job from both Rasheed Walker and Jordan Morgan? How awesome would that be?
Yeah, I would be pleasantly surprised because at this point, I would have liked to see more, but I think that we have done such a good job of building up that room and having the rotational depth that we're not like other teams. I mentioned this earlier in the week, I think, where they got a second-round draft pick, a first-round draft pick, and they have to plug and play that guy. They don't have an option not to. One, because they're not the GM. He thinks that his job's on the line. The fan base is about ready to absolutely burn the city down, whatever the case may be. We've got an absolute luxury here, the fact that we've got a good starting five that possibly doesn't include our first and second round draft pick of this year and last year. I know that's tough for a lot of Packer fans to swallow, but that's what it's called, man. We've mentioned for, I don't know, however many years we've done this podcast that the best time to take a quarterback is when
you don't need one.
When you don't need one. And you can probably apply that kind of aspect and philosophy towards multiple groups. And I think that that's what the Packers do. It's why that we're perennially a player that's a contender, that's about to either make the playoffs and could make a run. And, I believe it's Ryan that said multiple times that, would you rather have you go all in, have a really great season, and then your whole organization is in tatters for the next 3 to 4 years because of the moves you made financially, fiscally, in the locker room, absolutely just blows up that team after that initial run? Or would you rather be consistently in the race year after year after year to the point where then other teams like the Lions, the Bears, the Vikings, they hate you because they don't have that sort of fluidity from year to year to year? I would much rather be the contested or the consistent contender is what I would do.
Heard it from a fan right here.
Playoffs?
Third down period, Willis quick pass to Heath. Kalen King leveled Heath after bypassing blocker Cornelius Johnson. Punt period, Javon Bullard as the gunner nearly tackled McCole Hardman on Daniel Whelan's bomb. So it sounds like Javon Bullard might be playing a little gunner. There you go. Right.
I like him in that role. I like
that could be that might
perfect
be
for him.
Yeah,
absolutely. Final period, Willis passes broken up by Micah Robinson and Tyron Hopper. You'd love to see that. Screen blown up by Enigbare. Nazir Stackhouse ruined a run. Carl Brooks stuffed Josh Jacobs on a 4th and 2. Corey Ballantyne broke up the pass from Sean Clifford in a return to Green Bay. Ballantyne, quote, familiar, but still learning, catching on quickly to schemes and special teams. So he's just trying to get reacclimated. Brandon McManus on the day, 8 of 9 on field goals, none shorter than 42 yards. He said, man, y'all go for it inside there. I ain't even worth my time. You got to get outside of 40 yards before I come out and kick a field goal. This is from 53. It hit the upright. Makes from 51 and 56 here, according to the article. Packers lineup notes, safety pecking order. No change for Omar Brown despite strong family night. That doesn't surprise me. I didn't think they were just going to all of a sudden throw him up the depth chart, right?
No, but isn't it good to see him doing well, Jacob? That's our boy.
I'm telling you, man. That's if that does someday come to fruition, that will be one that I will hang my hat on, and you as well, because that was nobody was talking about Omar Brown.
No. Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams with number 1. Katano Ladapo and Zane Anderson with the 2s. Sounds like Omar Brown's behind them. We broke camp last year with 5 safeties, right? So if you count Javon Bullard as a cornerback, which I personally do, that would be your 5 safeties there. So that's kind of how I see it. LaFleur on Brown, consistent, maximizing opportunities. We'll get more reps and notice. Looking forward to the preseason game. That's what I'm excited to see. Left tackle Jordan Morgan took first-team reps with Rasheed Walker out. So they're really pressing into that. What I'm looking for with this first preseason game, if Rasheed Walker does not play in the first preseason game, which I honestly don't expect him to, I could be wrong there, I want to see Jordan Morgan go in first, and I want to see Anthony Belton. Let's see what these guys can do at left tackle. Really see what you got there. Rasheed Walker could play if it was week 1, being smart with the treatment for the groin. Love that. Number 1 secondary with Hobbs out. Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine at cornerback, Javon Bullard in the slot. I think nobody's surprised by that. Number 2 offensive line due to attrition. Kadeem Telford at left tackle. Donovan Jennings left guard, Jacob Monk at center, Trey Hill at right guard, Anthony Belton at right tackle. So Anthony Belton getting a little right tackle look there like that. Tim, we kind of talked about it.
Yeah.
Let's say, and listen, I don't think this is going to happen.
I know where you're going. I'm right there with you.
This is just for entertainment.
Hypothetical.
Let's say Elton Jenkins cannot figure this center thing out.
Zach Tom goes to center, and we put Escalade at right tackle.
I'm just saying. And what do you do with Elton? Elton is as versatile as they come.
Elton
right?
can go to left guard again,
left
and
guard.
we could move Aaron Banks to right guard, if we want.
Or put Elton to
at
right guard.
back. Yeah.
Or, there you go.
Feel good about that. I'm telling you, man. Every time we talk offensive line, I go right back to the Philly game and immediately following the game, and I put in big red letters on my note sheet. We've got to improve the depth of the offensive line. I think we've done it, and you've got multiple options, like you were saying earlier, Jacob. So, all right, interesting line: Brant Banks, left tackle, undrafted rookie; Aaron Banks, left guard, high price free agent; Monk, center; Hill, right guard; Belton, right tackle; and then third linebacker in the base defense. This is kind of the big question. Probably 20% of our defensive snaps, maybe a little bit more this year, will be our base 4-3. Quay Walker back alongside Edgerrin Cooper. First rep went to Isaiah Simmons, then Isaiah McDuffie got opportunity. So it sounds like Isaiah Simmons might be that Sam backer. And again, the Sam backer some people, I don't want to say any names, former player, they still go back to 1997 where they think Sam backer means you got to be up there on the line and you're playing the run and setting the edge. Sam backer in today's game is you got to be able to cover that tight end. Got to be able to cover that tight end, play on the line of scrimmage as well. That's an important thing. Don't get me wrong. But when you show a lot of underlooks, you want to make sure that guy has the athleticism to cover the Y down the seam. I think Isaiah Simmons is built for that. And now he doesn't have to try to learn to play safety, learn to play this position, that position. I'm excited about it. I hope Isaiah Simmons wins that third starting linebacker spot. What's your all's thoughts on that? And we'll wrap up.
I would agree. I think it's between the two Isaiahs right now. Zay McDuffie might be the safer bet just with familiarity and, being here these past few seasons. And, honestly, I mean, he catches a lot of heat, but I like Isaiah McDuffie's game. I've always liked the way he played.
Me too.
But I think, Isaiah Simmons is, first round talent grade, probably has a higher ceiling. I think it's healthy at this point of the year to have that kind of competition. Take turns giving these guys reps and see who you're liking better or how your defense is responding with the personnel. I'm with you, Clay. I think there's a shot that Isaiah Simmons maybe is that Sam backer. We'll have to see, though. Again, we haven't even had a preseason game yet, so more to look forward to this Saturday against the Jets. Keep your eyes on Isaiah Simmons.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I completely agree. We've talked about Simmons being a former 8th overall draft pick, was never utilized in the correct way. I think that when he was brought into Green Bay, that Hafley sounds like he sat him down and said, man, I'm going to make you like basically the commitment that we're not going to try to spread you all over the place like your peanut butter. You know what I mean? Like we want to actually have you stick in one spot, get real good at it. And then we'll maybe expound on what we can ask you to do once we know that you've got that solid base down. I agree with Tim as well that I trust Isaiah McDuffie as well. Like I think that's probably one of the highest floors that most NFL linebacker rooms could have, is a guy that's just been a steady Eddie, comes in. He's not necessarily flashy. Not going to make a lot of highlight reels, but he will come in and absolutely play, I believe, to whatever the coaches to say, hey, this is what we need from you in this game kind of thing. And he'll go out there and do exactly that. And I'm really excited about it. And I think that between the two of them, we forget still we got a guy like Tyron Hopper that could possibly come in a cinch or in a pinch, I should say. And if there's a problem with an injury or whatever the case, I have a lot of confidence in him as well, that we could stick with 5 in that linebacker room and be very confident that they could play a lot of different positions and play it at a high level. We
talked about that a few days ago, that it's a good sign to see Tyron Hopper taking those steps forward in his development.
Yeah.
Because if he would have hit a wall, we'd be having a pretty different conversation about our linebacker room.
Yep.
Yeah. Completely agree. Holmes MD1 knocks it out of the park here. Says, looks like Clay might be on the couch again tonight. Shaking my head. Sorry, Mandy. Yeah, we're out of here. Appreciate y'all. Last night was rough.
Chucks. Thanks, man.
Got all the smoke last night. So we're going to get out of here. Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate you, man. All right, and I want to give a shout out to Godsmack AR69, becoming a member here on YouTube again. Appreciate you so much. We'll make sure you're entered into the giveaway this week. This week, I think we're going to do – let's see what we can do. Why don't we switch things up this week? Why don't we go with an autographed rookie LVN card for the giveaway this week? Now, how this works, guys, got to be a member on YouTube or a member of our Patreon group. I would recommend be a member of the Patreon group. Get more content, a lot more interaction in there. However, if you just want to support the show, get entered in the giveaways, you can just click that join tab here on YouTube as well. Now, with that being said, we are looking for Donovan Schilling, Rich Beck, and Randy. That was the three, that were in line to win the Musgrave card. Okay. Donovan Schilling actually won. If we don't hear from him, it'd be Rich Beck. If we don't hear from him, it'd be Randy. Okay. So we're just waiting to hear back from them, but we'll keep rolling on with the giveaways. LVN rookie card this week. So Tim, Jake, appreciate you boys.
Can I make one more quick shout out?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So if you guys want to enjoy the rest of your night, or possibly if you got something going on tomorrow, you got yourself maybe 40 to 50 minutes to listen to a podcast, I very highly suggest that you go back and listen to Ryan Schlip absolutely gut the Chicago Bears as a team, as an organization, as a city, and Caleb Williams specifically. This morning's episode was chef's kiss. I mean, he absolutely pulled so many receipts, and he did it in such a nonchalant way. It was very, very impressive. And also, if you're not satisfied after that, the Athletic NFL podcast came out with I don't remember what the exact title of the season was. Basically, like bold, unprovable NFL takes or unbaked NFL takes. They went into it looked like it was almost by accident, but around minute marker 40, they talk about how the Green Bay Packers could be sneaky the best team in the NFL, or at least the NFC, how they could easily go 14-3, if not, and they went, and the three of them went back and forth over like a course about 10 minutes, and they kept getting more and more jazzed. And I was actually impressed about how they actually had a very deep well of knowledge about the Packers. They were even talking about how Musgrave could be such a great addition with Tucker and a bunch of the young guys, the coaching staff. It was pretty eye-opening to see that guys on that national level are actually looking at the Packers the same way that we are right now and getting hyped.
Get ready to go.
Yeah, he said. I appreciate that. And guys, scan the QR code in the upper right. That'll send you to Packernet Podcast. That's where you can find this show in podcast form. And like Jacob said, Ryan Schlip's Packernet Podcast. Excellent, excellent podcast. So make sure wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's Spotify, it's Podcast Republic like me, it's Apple, iTunes, whatever it is, go subscribe and feel free to give a 5-star review as well. We greatly appreciate that. So that's it, guys. We're out of here. I'm going to go save my marriage. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack, go.
Here we go.
We're out. Bye, guys.